this is a webinar in this case, which we can do a test. So if now I go back to Claude and then I write like AI test webinar, so that would be the name of the prototype that I'm going to create. And then I click on create. And here, the only thing I need to do is I just need to paste in the prompt from that document. I click send, and now it's going to build the whole webinar landing page for me, which is crazy because normally what I would need to do is I would have to go on Fiverr or I would have to go on Upwork. I would have to find someone who knows how to create a landing page. I'd have to, send them a message with my idea. They would have to come back to me with a price, and this would take probably like 7 days. But now in literally 5 minutes, I can create the landing page that I have in mind, and for like $20, depending on the Claude plan that you're on. So yeah, Claude just made it much more accessible for any type of person, any type of business owner to create whatever page they want, whatever they have in their mind, in literally under 5 minutes. So let's see what the result looks like. So as you can see, it created a whole plan. So it's going to build 4 different pages: the registration for the webinar, the confirmation page, so when someone has registered, the replay, and the thank you page, and the post-call page. So this is pretty cool. And now it's writing the styles.css. Great, so it finished the webinar landing page. This is what it created. Now it's pretty cool because they made it sort of where the opt-in form stays in place, but the whole page itself can move. And then I'm able to directly look at the confirmation page, which looks really cool. Hello everyone, hope you're all doing well. So yesterday Claude released Claude Design, and in this video I will show you exactly how to use it, what are the different things you can do, and more importantly, how can you publish your first Claude Design made landing page directly on a public site, so that it's ready to be used directly from organic traffic or directly from your ads. So here we are in Claude Design. Now, the main thing that's important here is to know the difference between what a wireframe is and high fidelity is. So high fidelity is basically you asking Claude to directly make the website or the landing page that you're trying to create. Wireframe is more for prototyping. So I can give you an example. So this is what a wireframe looks like. So essentially we gave it a prompt to create a prototype of a landing page that would be on a mobile version. So as you can see, it put the different types of pages, right, as a prototype. Now from here, what I could do is I could export it and I could directly hand it off to Claude Code, and I could tell Claude Code, okay, I want you to actually create this, do it. Or what you can do directly is you can just ask Claude to create the website directly. So here's an example. So the prompt that we put is create a lead magnet landing page for Bright Smile Orthodontics. And so the lead magnet is a PDF. So 5 things parents should know. And essentially here, this is what the landing page looks like for the lead magnet. Now, what's interesting here is you can see once I have put the prompt, it went through different scenarios and it created a whole plan by itself. If you do want to have this 100 prompt guide for different industries, then just check the link in the description. Everything will be there. So establish the visual system, build hero with empathetic copy and email form, build 3-column preview of PDF contents, etc. And then it just went ahead and it built everything. And it literally did this in, I would say, 5 minutes. From here, you have something that's called tweaks. Now, tweaks is just a quick way for you to make changes to the website and see how exactly you would want the website to look like. So, example, if I want to remove this badge, then there's an option where I can just do, there's an option for me to turn it on or turn it off. Now, you can actually edit these tweaks. So let's say if I say, okay, as a tweak, what I want you to do is I want you to have an option where I can see what the website would look like, where they would fill in their email address or where they would directly schedule in an appointment. So I'll send this in, and then what should happen is in tweaks there would be a new section where I can directly toggle it on or off, and then this part will change to a calendar or where I just input my email. Now, I have done this for multiple different kinds of industries. So here's, for example, a opt-in landing page for in the roofing industry. This all works as well. So if I just put like a random zip code, right, it will then do everything it needs to do, like if it was a live website and there's automations that happen in the background. So as you can see, this is a pretty nice landing page, which normally would take a lot of time, a lot of thinking to actually get it done. Again, here we have the tweaks, and we can directly change the headline, the urgency, if we want to just directly a form or split view, if I want to remove the testimonial photo, etc. So Claude Design really made it easy for everyone, every single business owner or any type of freelancer to now create websites. Essentially, this really just killed Lovable, because with Lovable, people would use Lovable to create this. Now, obviously, the difference between using Lovable or this is, well, with Lovable, you can directly create a database, which does speed up the process of actually having this live website, because you can create a database, you can configure it to a domain. So that is really the difference. But I'm going to show you in this video how to also do that. So let's say you would want to take this page and you want to actually publish it live. What you're going to do is you're going to click on export, and then you click on handoff to Claude Code. And this you'll just copy. Now, from there, what you will need to do, and all of the links will be in the description, but essentially you will need to download Claude Code directly in your terminal. So this is the only technical part, is you will need to copy this, and you'll need to go to your Spotlight and write terminal, which will then open a page. So here's an example that I was doing. So I installed Claude Code, I wrote Claude, I wrote Claude, which opened Claude Code, and then I changed the effort to max, just so that we can have the desired outcome as quickly as possible that I have in mind. Yes, this will use more tokens, but we will get to the desired outcome that I have in mind quicker. Then what I did is I just pasted in what Claude Design told me to paste in, which was this, right? So you can just copy the command, and then you go here, and you would just directly paste it in. And then what I have done from here is I just went through the different steps. For here, I just recommend you to always press number 2. And then, yeah, it basically built a different landing page. It built this one, the fitness page. So yeah, I just wanted to show this because I found it really cool, super easy for anyone now to create a website. There are also other cool things, like, for example, if I would want to make a change, I can just click comment, and then I can select the different part that I would like to comment. So let's say I don't really like the logo. I could say change the logo to something AI related with houses. And then I send it to Claude, and what that will do is it will take this as a reference point of what I want to edit, and it will only change that specific thing instead of changing the whole page. Then you also have something called edit. So here I can click on this, I can change the color directly, like so. I can also change the font if I want to. So yeah, it's also easy for you to directly edit whatever you want to edit. So let's say I would like to change this, and I don't know, and yeah. So yeah, this just gives you a lot of more options on what you would want to do on the website and test it in a quick way. You can also draw. So let's say I would like to change this to a different color. Then I'll just outline it, and then I'll say in English what I want to change. And I've done this for gym pages, real estate, chiropractitioners, and these are all different types of funnels. So this is an opt-in landing page. This one is a lead magnet landing page to see how much your home would be valued at. Yeah, the next step from here would be to directly buy a domain on Namecheap. So in this case, I bought gymnowgetfit.com for the fitness page. And then if I go back to my terminal, here essentially the implementation is complete. It's on my desktop. And now what I can do is I can say, I want you to upload this to Versal and change the domain to my domain that I just bought. And what that's going to do is probably going to ask me to log in into Versal. And this will basically allow you to actually have a page that's online where everyone can use it on that specific domain. What I have built is essentially a full guide, step by step, which explains how to use Claude Design. And I've also provided the different kinds of funnels that you can use in many different industries. So for example, if you are in the roofing industry, then here, if you would want to have a prompt for an opt-in landing page, then you would just have to copy paste this prompt. Then I have the same for in the dental, HVAC, real estate, med spa, pest control, solar energy, auto detailing, financial planning, etc. And then we have type 2, which is VSL, free training, opt-in, lead magnet, opt-in, minimal viable funnel, a more advanced funnel. So this is a webinar in this case, which we can do a test. So if now I go back to Claude and then I write like AI test webinar, so that would be the name of the prototype that I'm going to create. And then I click on create. And here the only thing I need to do is I just need to paste in the prompt from that document. I click send, and now it's going to build the whole webinar landing page for me, which is crazy because normally what I would need to do is I would have to go on Fiverr or I would have to go on Upwork. I would have to find someone who knows how to create a landing page. I'd have to, send them a message with my idea. They would have to come back to me with a price, and this would take probably like 7 days. But now in literally 5 minutes, I can create the landing page that I have in mind. And for like $20, depending on the Claude plan that you're on. So yeah, Claude just made it much more accessible for any type of person, any type of business owner to create whatever page they want, whatever they have in their mind in literally under 5 minutes. So let's see what the result looks like. So as you can see, it created a whole plan. So it's going to build 4 different pages: the registration for the webinar, the confirmation page, so when someone has registered, the replay, and the thank you page, and the post call page. So this is pretty cool. And now it's writing the styles.css. So you can also directly see all of the different files that it's creating within the project. So maybe I can directly open it, and I can also see the code that it's using. What you can also do is you can add comments. So let's say if you're working on this with a team of people and someone is in charge of creating like a rough prototype of how the landing page should be, then you could directly say, okay, no, this is bad. You can send it as a comment. You can also add an attachment. So let's say if we're taking reference from another webinar landing page, I could just add a screenshot and say, I would want you to create a design that's close to this. And then, yeah, everything will happen. So this is very cool. Now let's just wait for this to get built. Okay, great. So it finished the webinar landing page. This is what it created. Now it's pretty cool because it made it sort of where the opt-in form stays in place, but the whole page itself can move. And then I'm able to directly look at the confirmation page, which looks really cool. The replay page, so that is after the webinar is finished. So the person would be able to upload this directly here. And then the thank you page for when they are booked in. So I would say that this is very, very cool. Now, there are small things that I would want to change, like for example, this in the background, it looks a little bit, it doesn't look that good, but that's probably because I can see this. Yeah, no, it's just that the format in the background is not the best, but that's something that you can directly fix. It's also verifying in real time on my computer or on a computer directly to see if it looks good. Yeah, it's very cool and everything works directly. So the next step from here on what I would do is I would click on export, I would hand it off to Claude Code, and then I would directly upload this to a domain so that I can use it directly. Now, you might be wondering, okay, well, that's great. You created a website, you have an opt-in form, but how do I actually save the information from the opt-in form? Well, this is where you could do this in 2 ways. The best way would be to directly export it, hand it off to Claude Code. So copy the command, go here into your terminal and open a new window, right? and then here I'm just going to write Claude. It's going to open Claude Code directly, /effort max. And then from here, I'm going to paste this in. And what it's going to do is it's going to fetch the design file and everything it needs. And from there, what I'll do is I'm going to go in Go High Level, which is my CRM, and I'm going to directly click onto Automation, create a new workflow from scratch, and then from there, I will select an inbound webhook. Now, what we're going to do now, for the people who don't know what an inbound webhook is so whenever someone fills in this form, it will trigger, which means it will action, it will, for example, use this link, and it will send all the information that I have filled in this form to this link. And then I will be able to directly create a contact and map every single response that I got to a specific field. So let's say the first name, then I'll map it out to the first name field. And this is something that you need to configure directly through Claude Code and say, okay, well, my custom field for first name is this, and then you would just put that into Claude Code and it will do that. So once you have published this landing page, it will be fully usable. So whenever someone fills in this form, it will directly trigger to add a new contact. You will have it in your CRM, and then you'll be able to, for example, send it follow-up SMS, follow-up email, etc. So yeah, Claude Design, 10 out of 10, super cool, super quick. I really can see how this will speed up a lot the process of people who have this landing page in their mind or their website in their mind that they need to create. They can just go ahead and use Claude Design, export that to Claude Code, configure it for Go High Level, and then they'll be done. So yeah, if you do want to have this 100 prompt guide for different industries, then just check the link in the description. Everything will be there. And if you found this video valuable, feel free to subscribe, put a like, put a comment of what you want to see next in the next video. So yeah, bye-bye. See you in the next video.